Hi Virgo, this is your chakra reading for the first part of April 2022. I pretty much always start with what comes through first, which is usually what's most important, and you had some really interesting things going on between your third eye chakra and your throat chakra. So this was actually a pretty cool reading. So they're both doing a thing. They're working together. Um, so I see this throat chakra inside your third eye chakra, which is so cool. So what came through is that you're doing some astral travel, and I also get the sense that you probably know this. So if you don't, you might be doing it through dream time. What came through, and this is good, like for some reason you're going to use what's going on here. It kind of feels like maybe for your art, if you feel like an artist, like even a visual artist, not necessarily a writer. So let's talk about what these two chakras are independently. Your third eye chakra, which people know as being responsible for your intuition. It also is responsible for your ability to evaluate spiritual concepts, evaluate just concepts in general from a higher perspective, meaning if you had all the information there was in the world, right? And then imagine looking on the world with all this new information. So any thought, any information, any wisdom that anybody has known in their thinking brain throughout all time, imagine having access to all of that and sort of having it like dialed into this like concentrated blip that can come straight through to your third eye, right? So you have all this information at once. It's not overwhelming. How would you look at the world differently? And so that's what development of the third eye lets us do. It helps us look at everything from a holistic perspective. What our throat chakra does is it expresses things. So it expresses what comes out in our seat of creation, which is down here in the sacral chakra. And it's also responsible for your sort of connection with your true self, right? Your level of comfort with being your true self, with knowing your true self, and having that naturally come out as an expression, not just as an artistic expression, but imagine your life is the artistic expression of the piece of art that is you, the creation that is you. And so your expression of self, this throat chakra, comes out into everything, okay? And so this feels like it's going to be, again, that is why it feels like it was tied to artwork in particular. Like you're getting these deep meanings about kind of not only what to bring forth for yourself, to express for yourself, but like as you go into this third eye space, you're kind of seeing like maybe what you need to bring forth for others, and those can come to life through your creation, which is really good. And that's what art is supposed to do, right? So you're using these two things together. What came through your crown chakra looks really good. You could be using this a little bit more, and I would be using it a little bit more for the stuff that's going on actually with these other two chakras. So although your crown chakra does look good, we could use to it would be good to tie this in to this other work that you're doing, okay? Because right now you're relying on your third eye, okay? So sort of this like repository of information to kind of guide you and lead the way, which only takes you so far, right? Because this is kind of like more of like what would be the earthly human perspective, right? Although you have this, if you could have access to all of that, it would obviously give you this greater, almost mystical insight. But we want to also let some of this, like, even higher perspective, you want to let your higher self in. If you identify with that, you want to let your higher power in, angels, guides, masters, God, whatever you identify with. You want to start, letting the higher self and the source energy, the higher power spirit, in on this sort of equation that you have going on. And I get the sense that you do logically understand that, but you're getting a little bit caught up in how great this process is. And so you might be missing just a couple things, and things, it's just like, it's not, it's like, it's going great, but it could be like supercharged. Okay, but at some point this is going to start leading you in the wrong direction if you don't start letting this crown chakra in on some of this. So the way that I got that you could let this happen was to actually plot out. So if you're dreaming, notice location. Okay, location is very important. If you can, wake up and write down or voice message to yourself out what's happening in your dreams, paying particular attention to location, not just meaning like geographic location, but like if you're in structures, like home-like structures, what are the different homes that you're seeing? And start writing details about this. And start writing geographic location. It can be as detailed as you like. So if you know you're in a particular city, great. If all you can tell is the region, great. If you're not even sure of the region, but some imagery in the dream is giving you an indication of what the region would be, don't overthink it. Take that as face value. So if you're seeing, things that relate to a particular culture or region, just take those at face value. It's trying to show you, your dreams are trying to show you a specific geographic location. Same if you're doing astral travel, okay? It's really the same kind of process. It's just that in this one, you're doing it in dream time, and you might not even relate to doing something called astral travel. And in this one, you actually know, and might even feels like actively trying to astral travel. But you're getting a little bit too excited about where you're going, and you're like, ooh, I want to go here or there. And we need a little more of direction for where you're going from here. Now, what also came through was you sort of plotting points, okay? So I want you to somehow start making a map of, it feels like locations, like actual geographic locations, parts of the world, whatever. But there's something about you plotting out the points that you're traveling in. So whether that's geographic location, a time, like, oh, I'm going back to 5000 BC or whatever. The times in history. So look for any historical markers. These might be coming through in your dreams and travel. So if you see a certain, just be really detail oriented. In fact, what's coming through is just write down all details of these experiences and then start going through them. Okay, what are these details telling me? What historical time am I in? What geographic location am I in? Do I get any, sense of like what I'm doing there, what my persona is there, like what might be my occupation, my gender, whatever. But there's these markers. There's some bigger picture that's trying to be shown to you. And I think getting this crown chakra more activated is going to help. This is really the most important thing that came through with your reading, was almost like, okay, you're really onto something here, Virgo, and here's how you can kind of like follow the breadcrumbs a little more closely. So I would do some sound activation for your crown chakra, actually. You could do 1111 hertz, and you can do this overnight. There's kind of a range of frequencies that you could use. I'm stalling because I'm waiting for like the thing to come to me, but it's not really. I think it's 9:56. I'm going to come back to it. $8.64. Nope. 9:56 it is. So 950 hertz, do it overnight if you can. You can find all of this free on YouTube, so you can just play it. And you can do singing bowls if you want. I like to do a pure sine frequency at night because with the singing bowls, you get this change in the decibel, and I find it too stimulating to sleep to because you get these tones that are going up and down, up and down. And when you do a pure tone sine frequency, so 1111 or 956, when you do a pure tone sine frequency, it plays steady. And for me, it's easier to sleep to, but if you do this already, just do whatever works in one of these two frequencies. Everything else is pretty much like, there was like really nothing else that you could work on in particular. Your other chakras are, for the most part, just looking fine. So your heart chakra is fine right now. You could engage it a little bit more, probably. It's a little low on energy, but it's not anything to worry about right now. Your solar plexus chakra also looks fine. Really nothing going on there. Whoops, wrong spot. Oh, I got mixed up because you're where I did your third eye and your throat chakra. So your solar plexus chakra looking fine. Let's just scratch out this root chakra altogether. Ah! That's not an eraser. Okay, whatever. Okay, moving on. Nothing to see in your solar plexus chakra. Nothing to see really in your nothing to see really in your sacral chakra. What? You know what's really funny? Before I did your reading, I got this like scattered energy. And so it's like, what is happening right now? And your root chakra generally looks fine. So, I'm getting really annoyed that this eraser isn't working. Yeah, your root chakra looks fine too. Really the thing to work on is all this stuff up here, this crown chakra, and this kind of like what feels like a little adventure that you're on. So Virgo, you're going to do crown chakra activation. You're going to plot this stuff. Write down any details you can from your astral travel and your dreams, focusing on geographic locations, historical moments in time, and what those might mean on a bigger level. Any details, what your home looks like in particular. The other thing that just came through is if you can be doing, like if you sit down and meditate, if you can be doing that in nature, it'll also be really helpful. You could use just that little bit of grounding, will help this process, this whole thing you got going on here, be a little bit more clear. Okay.